This $399 a month payment on the brand new Model Y long range rear wheel drive is actually not that great of a deal. I'll show you two numbers that we are able to find, including one being the high interest rate that you will be paying if you get this Model Y lease. But there is a lower $399 a month lease payment for the new Model Y long range rear wheel drive that just came out. It just was released these past few days. And really, as a whole, leasing is not the move for the brand new Model Y. It kind of makes sense to me why Tesla is doing this because they know that leasing is the massive loophole for people that basically don't qualify for the 7,500 federal tax credit. Leasing gets it in full. And so if you're someone out there that wants to lease, get the 7,500 and then buy it out, I can get on board with that because if you don't qualify for the 7,500 federal tax credit, like you make too much money, then yes, that could make a ton of sense. But if you're trying to go after this low monthly payment on a lease and you see this low $399 a month payment, there's a couple things you need to be aware about. Or even if you see this $499 payment, there's a couple things you need to be aware about. And the biggest thing is that the interest rate, or also known as the money factor on this lease, it's only one component of the whole lease deal, but I would imagine it trickles down into all these other terrible numbers as well. The Model Y rear-wheel drive has a 9.53% lease money factor interest rate on the Tesla Model Y rear-wheel drive. You can see the all-wheel drive does not get that much better at 10.32%. In fact, if you look at a lot of the different lease interest rates, only like two models out of all of them actually make sense. You can see we've got this on our deal spreadsheet down below in the description, so you can see for yourself and see all the different numbers. There's maybe like two and a half that could make sense. Of course, the biggest one that they actually lowered recently is the long range rear wheel drive at a 2.74%. So that's really the only Tesla vehicle that I would get on board with if you're looking to lease. Actually, the long range all wheel drive, I could get on board with that as well because that is 3.6%. Still respectable, not as good as 0% if you're financing, but hey, if you want a low monthly payment, if you don't want to be committed in a brand new Model 3 for the lifetime of a loan or whatever it may be, then that could work for you. Model 3 performance is 8.93%. Model Y, you can see 9.5 and 10.3. Cyber or Model Y Launch Edition, 10% as well. And getting to the Cyber trucks, a lot of them are pretty bad. Rear-wheel drive, even though it has the lowest monthly payment, has a 11.14% interest rate. All-wheel drive, 8.38. And the Beast, actually the lowest out of the three of them at 7.46 as the interest rate for the Cybertruck Beast. You can see there. So very interesting to see with all the different things here. And of course, that's only one component of a lease when you're looking to lease a Model Y. The other components are going to be like the residual value, which is basically the buyout price at the end. And of course, the other different fees like disposition fee, which you pay at the end of the lease if you don't lease another vehicle, and also acquisition fee of $695. But you can see here, if we select the rear wheel drive, you can see all the different terms and conditions and everything. And the funny thing is, I used to say, do not ever lease a Tesla vehicle. It does not make any sort of sense because Tesla wouldn't allow buyouts in the end. Now that they do, it actually does make a lot of sense if you are looking to be low risk because you're driving Tesla's car for the 3 years. And if you really want it, you could buy it out. But of course, if the deal makes sense, you can see here the buyout price at the end of a Model Y rear-wheel drive is $31,075 or $31,000 give or take. And so very interesting to see, like, the starting purchase price is $37,490, of course, plus taxes and fees and everything. And after 3 years, you're going to buy it for 30 one. You can see where the math is maybe not mathing correctly or not in your favor. And so leasing might not make the most sense, especially if right now, really the only Model Y that does make sense is going to be a finance of the 1.99% for the all-wheel drive version. And if you're paying cash, and that's a different story. And most likely, if you're paying cash, you might not qualify for the 7,500. So then lease with a buyout and then maybe refinancing with a credit union if you want to at like 4.5%, which you can find out those interest rates at our Patreon group down below in the description, or of course cash at the end of the day. But let us know what your thoughts on it. Let us know what you're thinking. It is a very interesting time for sure, because we are definitely going to be seeing a lot of Model Ys in inventory as we get to the end of the month and end of the quarter, maybe even some inventory discounts, which I'm most excited to see by the end of the month. And of course, this is in comparison to the Model 3 lease. You can see right now with that low 2.76% interest rate on the Model 3 rear-wheel drive at 0 down 24 months, $349 a month. You can see that could be a very favorable deal if you want to just get your feet wet for 2 years. And of course, if you're looking to buy any Tesla, don't forget to use a Tesla referral code, just like the one down below in the description, so you can get 3 months of full self-driving added to your Tesla vehicle. But let us know what your thoughts on it. Let us know what you're thinking. If you're planning on financing your Tesla, then there's one thing you need to do before you even apply: protect your credit. Seriously, because here's the wildest part. Bank of America just had a data breach recently, and they didn't even tell customers for a month. That means your social, your phone number, and your email could have already been out there, and you'd have no clue. Most companies wait on average of 277 days to report a breach. That's 9 months where your identity is exposed and you're the last to know. That's why I use Aura, today's sponsor. Aura constantly scans the dark web and lets me know if anything tied to me shows up: my social, bank info, or any of my personal information. And that's not just for breaches. There's so many different tools I use with Aura. Want to reduce those pesky spam calls? Aura's got it. Want to remove your data like your addresses, phone numbers from those sketchy broker sites? Aura has that too. They will also include $5 million in identity theft insurance, and everything's packed into one clean app. You can try it free for 14 days at aura.com/DennisCW. I'll put that in the description as well. Don't wait until someone else tells you your data is at risk. That's like turning on Sentry mode after your car got keyed. Protect your credit before you apply. I'm doing it, and you should too.